You tapping in real quick. Final thoughts. Chris Gutierrez, Quang Lee. You can count me all the way the fuck out. You hear me? All the way the fuck out. You done lost your rabbit ass mind. Minus 530. Y'all know how I feel about that, man. Anybody who's over minus 500 or above, you know how I feel about betting or parlaying these individuals, man. Now, is Chris Gutierrez by far the more well-rounded, better, all-around mixed martial artist who has faced by far the higher level of opposition? Absolutely, without a doubt in my mind. But is he the more dangerous individual out of these two? I do not believe so. So when you say to me, or if you ask me, if they run this matchup back 10 times, does Chris get it done every time? Or at least the majority? I cannot say that with complete confidence. You understand what I'm saying to you? I cannot say that with complete confidence, man. Chris Gutierrez, as I said, the more well-rounded, by far, the more experienced mixed martial artist. Hands down has faced the higher level of opposition. His all-around mixed martial arts game, by far, is levels above, in my personal opinion. But is he more dangerous? I don't believe so. Young man standing on the other side of the octagon from him is probably the more dangerous individual out of the two when we're talking about finishing abilities, when we're talking about stringing a combination together that connects cleanly and disconnecting somebody from their consciousness. That's probably more so on the Quang Lee side of things. You understand what I'm saying to you? The more well-rounded mixed martial artist is definitely Chris Gutierrez. The higher level of opposition is definitely Chris Gutierrez. But the more dangerous individual in this situation, in my opinion, is Quang Lee. So I could not sit back with confidence and say, you run this thing back 10 times. Chris Gutierrez gets it 10 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, or even 7 times out of 10. Like, I can't do that, and that's what I need to be able to do. If we're talking about minus 500 or above, I need to be able to say, if they run this thing 10 times out of 10, man, Chris is getting it the fuck done. Or at the very least, he's getting it done 8 or 9 times out of 10. Maybe old boy catches and clips him once. But I don't believe that to be the case. If they ran this thing 10 times, he might catch Chris, a couple or a few times, man. You know what I mean? He has vicious leg. I know Chris Gutierrez has nice calf kicks. He has nice calf kicks. He's very technical. He's a very technical practitioner in there, and he's nice with his work. Quang Lee has some vicious leg kicks, though. Some vicious body kicks. You understand what I'm saying to you? There's a difference. The more technical practitioner, the more well-rounded individual, you know what I mean? The more well-rounded mixed martial artist with more experience, by far, is Chris Gutierrez. But the more dangerous motherfucker, the one that possesses the ability that if Chris sleeps on him in any way, shape, form, or fashion to disconnect Chris from his consciousness, is Quang Lee, man. His kicks are vicious, and his combinations, when strung together, his two down the pipe, I believe, from what I've seen, hits with a bit more, authority than that of Chris Gutierrez's. You know what I'm saying? Chris's may be a bit cleaner and crisper. Quang Lee's might be a bit faster and viciouser, more vicious. I mean, more vicious, if you understand what I'm saying to you, man. So I'm out. I'm out. Look, we over 5 minutes now. He's over minus 500 now. And I just don't necessarily believe that Chris Gutierrez, in my personal opinion, from anything I've seen, has ever looked minus 5 anything in any of his matchups. You understand what I'm saying to you? So I can't sit here and in confidence and say that he's going to justify. I can't sit here and even try to justify that price tag for him, man. I'm out. I'm completely out. I want nothing to do with it, man. I'm keeping it all the way funky with you, man. I'm gonna put it straight. I'm gonna put a straight 3-piece in, a boot bow bip, a 3-leg parlay, or a literal haymaker. You understand what I'm saying to you? Not as far as legs is concerned, but as far as if these 3 motherfuckers land cleanly on their opposition come Saturday night, they may very well disconnect them from their consciousness, and it might be a good night. You understand what I'm saying to you? So, you can go ahead and give me Quang Lee, Kazama, and Denise. That's how you say Denise. I'm just going to go ahead and put those 3 legs in a parlay and put $30 on them. I don't even know what the fuck it hits for. You know what I mean? It's going to hit for something crazy, though, because, and it's worth just rolling the fucking dice on it. Because if Kazama connects cleanly on Gregorio, trust me when I tell you, it could be fucking problems, man. It could be fucking problems for him. You know what I mean? Or if he gets him to the ground and wraps him the fuck up, it could really be problems for him. You understand what I'm saying to you? And that's with all due respect. If Denise or whatever his name is that's fighting Williams touches that chin properly, the way everybody that's ever been in a cage with him has touched his fucking chin. If Denise is able to touch that, however you say old boy's name is able to touch that chin, like everybody else has, I believe he'll disconnect him from his consciousness. You know what I mean? So old boy and Kazama and Quang Lee, man. If Quang Lee connects cleanly, strings together a combination where that 2 comes down the pipe and he follows it with any kind of a motherfucking kick, it could be a problem, man. You know what I mean? And just because this is MMA and they all possess a puncher's chance, I'm going to go ahead and string them 3 together, man, because they some scary motherfuckers as far as my parlays are concerned. You know what I mean? Them motherfuckers got me shaking a little bit, man. You feel me? When I see Chris Gutierrez at minus 530, man, it just fucks my head up. It fucks my head up because with all due respect, that's my guy. But even in victories inside the distance, he didn't look minus 5 anything. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen him look minus 5 anything against anybody, even when he looked good, man. It was still competitive. You know what I'm saying? You want to call him maybe he looked close to that number when he caught Frankie Edgar, when he caught my homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's what I'm saying. Even his finishes inside the distance, he never looked like anything magnificent in my personal opinion, man. Just a very solid, very well-rounded, you know what I'm saying? Like, very solid, very well-rounded, you know what I mean? And very technical individual, man. You know what I'm saying? He can go in there and he can get it done. But you don't necessarily look at Chris Gutierrez, man, and, you know, when he gets matched up with motherfuckers and think, oh, he's just going to knock this motherfucker smooth the fuck out, or he going to dog walk him and just, you know, do what he wants to him all over the mall. You know, I don't, man. So when I looked at fucking minus 530 today, it fucked me up, man. It fucked me up. It fucked me up. I was going to put a parlay video out, you know what I mean? A final thought parlay video, you know, fuck it. He was at minus 340. He was under minus 400, you know what I mean? Fuck it. You know, he wasn't the biggest favorite, you know, on the card. We still had Youssef out there and Danny Barlow out there as bigger favorites than him, you know what I'm saying? He's jumped the fuck over them. You know what I mean? Now he's the biggest favorite on the card, but over minus 500. If we were talking minus 430, I probably wouldn't even be made this video. I'd have still felt some type way about it, but I wouldn't have made this video. But minus 530, man, I'm all the way out. I'm all the way out. And now it's got to be a dog play. You know what I mean? It's got to be a dog play. Because what you're telling me when you telling me minus 530 is you pretty much telling me that he going to do what he want to do with him. And I don't know that that's the case, man. I don't know that that's the case. I don't know that that's the case. This young boy is going to be coming out there and he's going to be coming for blood. And it's a big jump up in opposition. You understand what I'm saying to you? And I got him losing. I just, at minus 530, man. This young boy sitting at plus 360, man. It's just, you know, it is what it is. It's another situation, but, you know, you had Fatima Klein coming in. She was supposed to have a Dana White Contender Series showing. Motherfucker scrapped out, so she jumped up and, you know, took on Jasmine. That line was hella close. And Jasmine's a motherfucking gat. You know what I mean? But that line was hella close. She's no UFC veteran, you know what I mean? Hasn't been around as long as Gutierrez. But she's a gat. You know what I mean? And she's proven herself. You understand what I'm saying to you? But that money line was real close with Fatima coming in based off of her little, you know, O next to her name and her grappling background. You know what I'm saying? Now we got Chris Gutierrez and this old boy. Same situation. Supposed to be on the Contender Series. Undefeated. Don't got the grappling background. Vicious in the striking department, though. And this is, you know, Gutierrez likes to keep it on the feet. That's where he like to do his best work at. You would have just thought that this line might have been a little bit closer than minus 530. I mean, when the 340 opened up, it was what it was. I was going to take it for what it was, try to wrap it up in some thing. But minus 530, man, this thing's going to be probably like minus 600, 650 come fight night, man. Get the fuck up out of here, man. Get the fuck up out of here, man. Leave this motherfucker alone now, y'all. Just leave it alone, man. It doesn't do anything for your parlays, man. Just like the Yusef Zalal. It doesn't do anything for your parlays, man. Minus 470, you know what I mean? Minus 4 something and minus 500, you know what I mean? These shits don't do much for your parlays, especially when there's question marks involved, man. Like Jarno's dangerous. When it comes to Yusef Zalal being that big of a favorite, Jarno's dangerous, man. They're both 14-5-1. And although I've said it, Yusef Zalal, yep, he's been up against a higher level of opposition. That's also the individuals that he lost to, though. So really, you can fucking miss me with that, man. You know what I'm saying? Didn't have a good run. His first go in the UFC. Slid out. Had a good run outside the UFC, like most do. Slid back in and looked real good against Billy Q. But the way that Billy's Q looked in his last 3 or 4 fights, I don't know how much we can really look into that as far as, you know, evolution in Zalal's game. You know what I mean? Fucking, and then Jarno, I know he's got a loss since being in the UFC. This, you know what I mean? And it's to the Choi boy. But Yusef Zalal lost to the same Choi boy in his first run in the UFC. You understand what I'm saying to you, man? So I really feel like Jarno and Yusef are the same level of opposition. You know what I mean? They beat the individuals that they should beat, and they've lost to the individuals that they should have lost to when they've taken that step up. You know what I mean? Yusef might have taken a step up a couple more times than Jarno as of yet, but he lost those steps up a couple more times than Jarno as of yet. You understand what I'm saying to you? So I don't really know what justifies Yusef being such a big favorite. That's why Yusef wasn't wrapped up in my parlays. You know what I mean? My 4 legs originally for my foundation, when this card was dropped, was Alan, you know what I'm saying, Danny, Chepe, and motherfucking, god damn it, what's the old boy? Javid. You know what I mean? Those was my original 4 legs, and I was using those as my foundation to build my parlays off of. You know what I mean? But then Javid and motherfucking Alam was scrapped, and it left me with Chepe and Danny Barlow. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, if we keeping it all the way funky, it's impossible for a motherfucker to be completely 100% confident that motherfuckers is gonna get it done. You know what I mean? My most confident one now is probably Danny Barlow. It is Danny Barlow. You know what I mean? Danny Barlow is my most confident pick, man. You know what I mean? And it's just, and that's a prospect against another prospect. But that's my most confident pick, man. I want Chepe to be my most confident pick, but the truth remains what I said in my prior video, man. You know, Chepe, even outside the UFC, with names that made it to the UFC, like Youssef Zalal and Pat Sabatini, they're still prospects inside the UFC. So you look good against individuals you were supposed to look good against outside of the UFC that are also now prospects inside the UFC. And since being in the UFC, you know, the Peaks and the Morgans and the individuals that you've knocked off and looked good against inside the UFC, they're also prospects. Damon Jackson is by far the highest level of opposition that Chepe has ever faced, and he's going to have to face him on Saturday, man. And Chepe's been knocked the fuck out 3 times in his career already. If anybody can knock him the fuck out and disconnect him from his consciousness once again, it is Damon Jackson. Damon Jackson does possess the motherfucking tools, man. The capabilities, the power to pop, especially in his counters. His counters are deceptively powerful, man. His check hooks, they're vicious. They're low-key vicious. They don't even look like it. The way he just nonchalantly tosses them, man. But they will disconnect you from your consciousness, man. And Damon Jackson's got a vicious submission game in his own right. I don't necessarily believe that's the fucking, you know, route he wants to take with a Chepe. If they get intertwined in a wrestling or grappling exchange, I believe Chepe gets that all day. When it hits the mat, Chepe is nasty down there, but Damon is nasty in his own right. And he's got a bit, you know, longer limbs. You understand what I'm saying to you? So that can work to his advantage down there in that jiu-jitsu department. In that wrestling and grappling, not so much, because that judo and them tosses that Chepe possesses, they're fucking vicious, and they come fast and out of nowhere. Motherfuckers don't get time to really try to resist those. You understand what I'm saying to you? But once it hits the mat, the long limbs, the experience against high level of opposition and very high level jiu-jitsu practitioners in his own right, Damon possesses that, man. So it can be nasty down there. And on the feet, the volume, the angles, the footwork, and all that's going to be with Chepe, man. But the power, the one-shot pop is definitely with Damon, man. So it's a shady card. It's a shiesty card no matter how you look at it as far as being confident, man. You know what I mean? You want to be confident in the motherfuckers you want to be confident in, man. But it's like with Carl and Old Boy. Listen, man, I personally believe Old Boy is by far the most dangerous motherfucker Carl's ever fought, for the reasons being that he's faster than anybody Carl's ever fought, hits harder than anybody Carl's ever fought, more agile, better movement, foot movement, head movement, just all around movement. He's more athletic. You understand what I'm saying to you? Way more agile. I mean, he's more dangerous than anybody Carl has ever faced, man. And Carl gets hit a lot. That swanging and banging shit Carl was doing from the motherfucking hips against Lucas Brett. He can't leave his motherfucking chin open like that. He can't just try to swing from the hips like a silver bat on Old Boy. Old Boy's gonna catch him, clip him, and disconnect him. I fucking promise you. You understand what I'm saying to you? And you know, that gotta go. It's inevitable that it's gonna go. And Carl possesses the tools to wipe it away. But he also has a very, very, very exploitable striking game. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like on the feet, he can be exploited very quick. His striking defense is absolutely horrendous. The way he must just have confidence in his durability and his chin, because the way he moves with his chin up and his chest out and his hands down to the side, just swinging from the hips is fucking ridiculous. He is touched in every fight. Tafa touched him with a jab. Lucas touched him with a jab that pushed his fucking neck back like a bobblehead. You know what I mean? I just believe that if old boy touches him like that with a power jab, the shock, that split of that power that he's never fucking felt before in his life is going to allow the rest of the combination to connect clean and just disconnect him from his consciousness, man. There's so many fights that are dangerous. It's fucked up, man. I got my fucking spit on myself. It's fucked up, man. You know what I'm saying? I believe Danny Barlow gets that one done. I've watched as much as I could watch on the other one. I know all I need to know about Barlow, man. And I just believe that he gets that one done at the very least 9 times out of 10. So I'm highly confident in him. Chepe gets this one done 6 times out of 10. Unfortunately, you know what I mean? In my personal opinion, man, there's 2 or 3 nights where Damon Jackson just knocks him the fuck out, and a night where he catches him coming in for a takedown with those long limbs, sinks up a front choker, a guillotine, and, you know, wraps up the zone inside the distance via submission. You understand what I'm saying to you? What up? Yeah, you know what I mean? That's that with that, man. That is that with that. I just had to tap in real quick, though, you know what I mean? And chop it up. My bad, y'all, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's just hard. It's hard to be confident in all these legs that we're left with now. And then the ones that we are left with that we want to feel good about, look at the fucking price tags next to their names, man. This shit is just fucking ridiculous. I said it before, I'll say it again. I'll be redundant so y'all motherfuckers hear me, man. I personally do not believe Chris Gutierrez has ever looked minus 530 against anybody in his whole career. So I cannot justify that, and I cannot get on the side of it. I'm completely out. You know what I'm saying? I'm confident that Barlow gets it done. I'm confident that Carroll gets it done. I'm confident that Chelsea gets it done. It's fucked up. That's 2 females in that motherfucker. Carroll and Chelsea, 2 female fights. I'm more confident in that they get done. As far as heavy favorites, Barlow. We talking about dogs. You got to give me Marcin Tybura. I'm still confident in him. You know what I mean? That's that with that, y'all.